Hello, how are we? Very happy. Very happy if you're a Scotland fan. Wow, oh wow. I was at BT Murrayfield and it's our time. It feels like our time without getting carried away. So many years of pain, so many years of hurt, especially against Wales, who have had our number for many years. I think Warren Gatland, although I found out a stat yesterday, I thought Warren Gatland had never lost to Scotland. Turns out in 2001, when he was with Ireland, that Chris Patterson, the great Chris Patterson, said to me, reminded me of that. Well, it came true, what we all thought in the lead up to the game against Wales. And I said it all week. We had a live show, a live rugby pod show at the Usher Hall on Wednesday night with the great Andy Powell and John Barclay. And I said it in front of everyone. I think Scotland are 12 points at least. See how I put at least? I didn't say at least. 12 points better than Wales. And we had to have the confidence to say that. I was in London on Thursday, a few Welsh people in the crowd at another show that we did. And when they start getting stuck into you, but it's Wales, it's Scotland's bogey team, the physicality. Yeah, started to kind of question a little bit, but I genuinely had full confidence in the lads at the weekend. And we can get into a little bit about it because it's hard to be confident as a Scotland fan and as an ex-Scotland player who's spent 10 years saying this was our year, this was our time, but it definitely feels different now. After the Autumn Nation series with Finn Russell, and we'll get onto him, being back and being happy and being in form, and the strength and depth that we're seeing develop. Like, I'm very close to the game. I watch Glasgow and Edinburgh most weeks, so I know the backbone of the Scotland team with them. I've watched Sione Tuipulotu for the last couple of years, playing very well. Hugh Jones as well. I follow him. He's one of my favourite players. And the young lads coming through as well. Blair Kinghorn, I've spoke about him. We'll get onto him as well. His best position is at 15, without doubt. Anyone who says that hasn't got a clue. Gregor, even you can say that now. He might not come out and say it, but I think it's there for all to see. But having the confidence to say that we were 12 points better than Wales, that was probably me understating it, because I genuinely felt that we were going to win this game comfortably in the lead up. Just how comfortably, especially in that second half, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that level of complete performance coming. And we don't want to get too carried away because the next two games that we've got are the hardest games. But if we look into the game slightly, Wales came out how we thought they might. They were physical, they were stuffy. They were gritty. They weren't a team that were ever going to come and just rock up and not perform. It's a Warren Gatland team. You've got Dan Biggar, you've got Ken Owens in the team, you've got George North, you've got Liam Williams, you've got Josh Adams, you've got experience across the board, Adam Beard as well. So it was always going to be tough, and it was stuffy. Stuffy around the breakdown. Tommy Rafael, hard done by on a few of the decisions. And yeah, they made us work. We came away with the driving line out with George Turner. The line out's been a great weapon for Scotland over the last few years. And that was the foundations really of the momentum. But the momentum did swing in Wales' favour when George Turner got yellow carded. I went back and had a look at it just now, actually. Andrew Brace said it wasn't a swinging arm, so he only gave him a yellow. I think it was a swinging arm, and I think that George Turner is quite lucky with that one, really. But you need luck. Andrew Brace, top-level ref, will take it. But George North is a load of other stuff that I'm not going to get into around the head trauma stuff and the concussion protocols. I want to try and keep this quite upbeat, but there's a few issues there that I'm sure will be looked at. But yeah, with George Turner in the bin, we were under a little bit of pressure, really. Wales came back into the game, and we're thinking, right, are we going to go into half-time 14-13 down? Richie Gray, take a bow. That tackle on Alex Cuthbert, that tackle was a try-saving tackle. And you could say, I know Scotland, or we think Scotland might have gone on to win the game anyway, but before half-time, if Wales would have went 14-13 up, it could have been all very different. Richie Gray, that tackle on Cuthbert, and I know that Biggar put the ball out the back door to Rio Dyer that didn't stick, and that's why Wales didn't go in. We went in 13-7 up. But Richie Gray, mate, good friend, former teammate, thought he was done. Thought he was done. Put him down. Put him down. Nah, the big horse was never down and out, and he's come back, and that try-saving tackle under the radar, not many people are talking about it, was phenomenal. And then we went into the second half, and I was wondering how it was going to go in the second half because, John Barkley mentioned it at half-time, and I kind of agreed. Like, Finn Russell was trying some ridiculous stuff in that first half that wasn't sticking. Offload resulted in a turnover. Offload resulted in a penalty off the back of the breakdown when he threw that in the first half. I'm thinking, nah, it's maybe not Finn's day. It's maybe not Finn's day. For people questioning if Finn Russell is the best player that Scotland have ever produced, go check yourself. Finn Russell, goodness me, that second try, he could have scored it himself. He makes that half break and he does what Finn Russell does. We've seen him doing it for Racing 92. We've seen snippets of it. He tried it in the first half. But that offload to Kyle Steyn, sensational, world class, speechless, absolutely speechless. And from then, the game just fell into our lap, didn't it? It was on to the pressure game from Scotland. Liam Williams, who's normally very good over ball, gets pinged, yellow carded, and off the back of that, the space opens up. And then we see the box of tricks from Finn Russell, the kick pass to Kyle Steyn. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So when I look at it and break it down, for us not just to win the game, but to win the game with a bonus point in the way that we did and the way that we played was just brilliant. The try that really, really impressed me was, I think it was the last one, because it was the ultimate team try. So we're virtually on our own try line. We get a scrum penalty. The front row is all the subs. So Jamie Batty, Fraser Brown, WP now, they're all the subs. Strength and depth is what I'm saying. So we get that turnover penalty. We kick to the line out. We drive the line out. We get a penalty. Driving line out's a massive weapon for us. We kick again. Driving line out. And off that driving line out, Finn Russell gets his hands on the ball early. Crossfield kick to Duhan van der Merwe, who I thought Josh Adams played really well against him. But the first time he made a real kind of break in open space, pops the ball inside to Blair Kinghorn, who I thought was sensational. I thought he looked brilliant. So if Hoggy's not fit, and we know Hoggy's been struggling with a little bit of form, but a little bit of fitness, and he's rushed himself to get back. I know we've got a week off now, but Blair Kinghorn for me, whenever Hoggy decides to hang them up, take the 15 jersey, son, because that jersey is yours. Really, really impressed. And again, looking at the England game, you could arguably say that he won Scotland the game by the way that he played when he come on. So he was brilliant. Of course, Finn Russell will get all the plaudits because he set up 3 of the tries, the offload, the kick pass to Kyle Steyn, and then the kick pass to Duhan van der Merwe with the inside ball off him to Blair Kinghorn. Finn Russell, it was an absolute masterclass. It was, to be in the stadium with him and watch that kind of performance and see the effect that he has on the Scottish public. He's the best player ever to play for Scotland. I'm lucky the fact that I've played with him. He puts a smile on my face, and he's just getting into his prime now. Some might say the fact that he's just had a kid, the maturity that brings, because you have to, and everything that comes with that and the responsibility that comes with that has changed him. He only had a kid a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, longer than that, just before the Six Nations. But I think that you could say it is the maturity that he's playing with, the confidence. He could have gone into a shell. Any other 10 would have gone into their shell in the first half, not throwing them ridiculous offloads. Plays with a smile on his face, win, lose or draw, and he's a magician. I like to call him the Maverick. He's more than the Maverick because he's not a risk taker all the time. He's diligent in what he does with his work. We had Sione Tuipulotu on the Rugby Pod this week. He spoke about the relationship with Finn Russell and how much work that he puts in. That's out there, but I'm all over him. I'm all over Finn Russell. I just watched some of the highlights back, and it was real. It was right. What I felt in the stadium, which was watching a magician at work, was what I've just watched on my own in the quiet, watching TV. Phenomenal. A bloke I didn't give a shout out to when we rounded up the game last week was Matt Fagerson. Again, unsung hero. What does unsung hero mean? It's someone who probably doesn't get the plaudits. Like we speak about the headline players, Finn Russell, Richie Gray, unsung hero as well, but lads who do flashy, standout things. Matt Fagerson put the pass to Duan last week for us to win the game. He made 27, 28 tackles, which is almost a record in a Six Nations match. This week again, his stats were through the roof. His effects on the game, his carrying ability, his tackling ability, his tackle accuracy. He cemented the number 8 shirt. I thought we had an issue at number 8. I wasn't sure who that player was. You're in. Him, Jamie Ritchie, Luke Crosby, again, I thought was really good. Hamish Watson, I know, I spoke to him last week. He's desperate to get back. How gutted must he be? Out for a long time with injury, trying to get back. Luke Crosby's been playing so well. But my point is strength in depth. Strength in depth. Another unsung hero as well is Kyle Steyn. Referenced him a couple of times because he scored a couple. Just positionally very good. Aerially very good. Defensively very good. Glasgow captain, leadership credentials. But in the shadows of Duan van der Merwe last week, obviously, everyone was. And I look at his performances and you're wondering whether for the game against France, which I'm going to come on to, does Darcy Graham come straight back in? Because Darcy Graham, let's not forget, he's a worldie. He's our Cheslin Colby. Kyle Steyn is one of the guys that every time he plays well. Can score tries, he's a finisher, positionally very good. I mentioned tackling and physicality, lovely lad, everything. He's got the full package. But does Darcy Graham come back in off his lower leg injury? I think it was his knee, might have been his ankle. I was commentating on the game, can't remember. Anyway, he had a fairly nasty injury. But you think about the players that we can call upon now, whether or not it is Hamish Watson to come back in, whether or not it is Darcy Graham to come back in. We're good. We are good. I saw Ali Price. Ali Price is our third choice 9 at the minute. I mean, we're in a great position. But the question comes now, what can we do in this tournament? 2 from 2 going into the down week. We've got France, and I watched the France-Ireland game back. Them two teams, well, they're the best in the world. They're 1 and 2. So they played like that as well. I don't know how any team sticks with Ireland. I can't say, I just cannot see it. But if Scotland could beat France, with that confidence, that momentum, the accuracy in attack, I genuinely think we can cause Ireland problems. But we've got to go to Paris. We did it 2 years ago when no one thought we could. France had to win, what was it, by 21 points or something like that. And the Six Nations Championship was theirs. And we beat them. Let's not forget we beat them in Paris 2 years ago. Similar kind of team to what they'll have now. They've got a few injuries in their team as well. But the performance they put in the weekend against Ireland, Damien Penaud on the right wing wearing number 14. Dupont, the try-saving tackle. I can't remember who he held up, but I think it was a forward. Just absolutely ridiculous. The size, I love Charles Ollivon in the back row. Jalont as well. They've got some world-class players. They're world-class. They're a world-class team. And I was confident going into England. I was confident going to Wales. Now I've read Jamie Ritchie's comments saying that they're confident that they can beat France. I love that. Say it. You know, Dan Biggar said in the week that what have Scotland got in the trophy cabinet compared to Wales? Nothing. He was right. I love that. I love that talk. Confident. Build the narrative. The jeopardy. Talk it up. Jamie Ritchie, go for it. And he was emotional after the game. I watched him because of the reasons, it being the Doddy Cup and the added pressure on the lads to win that for the first time. And Doddy's lovely wife, Kathy, and his boys were there to present it. I could see the emotion on Jamie Ritchie's face because that game, not just was it a Six Nations game or a game against Wales, it meant more. And I love that. So these 2 games have had a lot of emotion on them. The Calcutta Cup match, the Doddy Cup. But something special is brewing. I can feel it. I don't want to get too carried away. Ben White at scrum half, I thought was wicked. Our game management. Confidence is everything. We've not been in this position. 2 from 2 at the start of the Six Nations. We go to Paris. What we got to lose? Just do the same again. Get the accuracy right. France, I saw a few cracks I say a few cracks. It was Ireland. So Ireland will show a few cracks in every team that they play. But I have a feeling we could do it. I genuinely do. And if we do, if we go to Paris and beat France, imagine the game against Ireland, the Triple Crown. But not only the Triple Crown, no disrespect to Italy, we beat Ireland. We beat Ireland. We're on for a Grand Slam going into a World Cup. I'm going to keep it tapered down. Tapered down because I don't want to get too carried away. But yesterday's performance, it was a showstopper. It really was. Finn Russell, magical. Strength and depth across the team now. Darcy Graham nearly fit. What more do we want? Now's our time. I watched the England-Italy game today. It was awful. It was awful. We've been waiting for years to shout about something, to smile about rugby in Scotland. Well, come on, Scotland!